It's coming. You wanna know the last information about the crypto world? Smash the like button. It's time for Crypto News. Crypto to the max with Rodrigo Ornedo. We start a new week with a weekly chart. You can see how Bitcoin, even though we have so many geopolitical interesting pieces of information, is between this range, between 110 and 102. You can see how the candle, the weekly one, has this short body and it has a huge wick on top and a huge wick on bottom. So it seems that when price goes up to 110, everybody's suppressing it, so it goes down with all the bad things going on in the world. But then when we go to the point of 102 to 100, well, the market pushes back because they want to buy it like crazy around 100K. So finally, the weekly closed in the red, but at a very similar point that it was previous week. Right now, you start in the week and we are better than the last week. So, well, we can see that we are kind of building a foundation around 105, difficult to break. And yeah, even the weekly candle was in the red, but just for very little, just for kind of $100, it would be a green one. So, well, maybe you believe Bitcoin is creating this strong, solid foundation. Maybe not. Remember, we told you in previous videos about the hammer candle and how this could trigger the next action for Bitcoin to the top. Remember also previous patterns like the megaphone and also this bullish pennant, and Bitcoin right now seems to be still, well, doing those technical analysis patterns. We'll see about that. I told you everything about that in previous videos, so I would recommend you to watch them all if you haven't already. Today, we keep on talking about these patterns. Remember the golden cross? Well, right now you can see we are bouncing back in the moving average. That was the beginning of the rise at that point. Maybe in this case, we just needed two touches of the line in order to have this crazy bull run that will bring us to 150 in next weeks. We'll see about that. Also, with our parallel channels, you can see how we broke important supports, important lines with previous highs. But again, we are creating that support at 105. Very interesting that we touched this line in 102 precisely with previous lows. And also, we are using this line with previous highs and lows to find the support. So it seems that Bitcoin doesn't want to go lower right now. We'll see about that. We have closed already the gap in the CME futures of 105, even though you know that we still have the one at the 92. So yeah, we'll see about that. Bitcoin going up while gold goes down. This is crazy. Finally, is Bitcoin a better safe haven than gold? Well, gold really, really close to a new all-time high now, going down, and you can see all the gaps it needs to fill, well, in order to keep on growing in a healthy way. This means that, well, this doesn't have to fill, but usually it does. So consider Bitcoin better than gold, in my opinion. Of course, no financial advice. I'm not expert whatsoever. We need to understand what's going on in the world. We need to understand what's going on between Iran and Israel. And everybody is out there in crypto Twitter trying to figure out what's going to happen with previous tensions between two countries, as you can see here in this chart, as we told you in previous videos. But I found very interesting this tweet from Stock Money Lizards. He's telling us that geopolitical events are just noise in the long-term trend. Yes, of course, it's going to affect the market as we saw in previous disasters, but in the long run, this is the point where retail sales and smart money wins. Even after World War II, the markets will recover fast enough. So are you going to be the smart money right now, or are you the panic seller? Or do you think that this time is going to be different and markets are not going to recover? Remember, we told you in previous videos about this Iran Israel thing that we might have to be some time going down because this and so many other variables. But we still believe by the end of the year we'll be in a good situation. And making a little bit of fun about of this Quinten out there saying if nuclear war happens, you die. If it doesn't, markets recover. If you don't buy, you either stay poor or die. If you do buy, you either get rich or die. Simple math. So, yeah, maybe it's not a bad idea to try and get some in this dip. Also, we say we are in a crucial, critical moment because this week on the 18th, on Wednesday, Jerome Powell has to decide if he cuts or not the rates. Very important for the markets. As we've been telling you in previous videos, what do you think is going to happen? Well, poly market users predict 97.5% chance that the Fed will not make any rate cuts changes this Wednesday. And you know that usually this is a kind of intelligence where everybody comes together and usually they are right. So if this is the case, expect volatility, maybe the markets will go down or maybe it's all priced in already and we will not. Because also we have so many good news about Bitcoin this week. Like for example, BlackRock Spot Bitcoin ETF bought a total of 10,290 Bitcoin last week, where only around 3,150 were mined on average. So just BlackRock absorbing all the miner offer that Bitcoin has right now. Also, Michael Saylor posted his famous Saylor tracker saying bigger dots are better. That's a sign that the strategy will have announced new Bitcoin buys this week. We'll see how much is he gonna buy. Also, Metaplanet just acquired an additional 1,112 Bitcoin. The MicroStrategy of Japan has now reached an important milestone, having accumulated over 10,000 Bitcoin. That's more than $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. But we have also one in China. Chinese public company DDC Enterprise bought an additional 38 Bitcoin. They plan to buy 5,000 Bitcoin. There's not Bitcoin for everybody. We're going to have a liquidity squeeze, maybe. We have considered more and more companies coming doing the same. New player in the Bitcoin game is called Angel Studios. It's a film studio. They just bought 300 Bitcoin and kick off a full-blown Bitcoin treasury strategy. And also, we have companies doing this with Bitcoin, but some others with Ethereum right now. SharpLink Gaming, now the largest publicly traded Ethereum holder. And they are doing that Saylor strategy. And not just with Ethereum, it seems that somebody wants to do that with XRP right now. First ever large-scale XRP reserve, 500 million. It's a Singapore-based called Trident Digital. They plan to raise this money to establish the world's first large-scale corporate XRP reserve. The initiative will focus on the acquisition of the tokens, just like Michael Saylor is doing, some others with Ethereum. So right now, the fashion is to do strategy, but with all the cryptocurrencies. And what about countries? Well, Vietnam's National Assembly approved the law to legalize crypto. This is also a very good one, as the French Parliament is putting forward proposal to mine Bitcoin to stabilize the national electricity grid. We need better regulation than MiCA in Europe, in my opinion. This for the good ones, as that Trump Media's SEC registration for its Bitcoin treasury is officially effective. Donald Trump all into crypto, as it is Walmart and Amazon. They are exploring launching their own stablecoins. Stablecoin is the word, is my safety word, is the word of the year. But we also have bad ones. Bad ones comes from Brazil. Brazil taxes all crypto gains. Brazil imposes a flat 17.5% tax on all crypto gains, scrapping previous exceptions for small investors. So this is good for big investors. They go down from 22 to 17, but this is bad for the small ones. No thresholds, no breaks, all against now taxed equally. Any case, this is better than the 30% you have to pay in Spain. And let me tell you, we are just 2 weeks away for the deadline. So if you haven't declared your crypto already, you have a link in the description below to coin tracking, the best portfolio tracker, the one I used to do my tax report when I needed to. So you have a 10% discount also for the full service if you need help with that, also for corporates account. Do it today because it's just 2 weeks away. Maybe you live in this country that I am visiting on vacation. Maybe you don't like that they have these 30% tax stops. And also, maybe you don't like that next month, with all the controversies we have, with all the crisis in the government, they're going to launch a new public offer. This is a record employees. So you might be wondering who's going to pay for all these public jobs. Well, let's talk about something better. Altcoins in the green, 10% for hype. It's one of the more interesting ones, going up into an all-time high. It's a new all-time high for hype. It's higher than 44 right now, and I have everything almost ready for my sell at around 48, 49. I'm gonna take there some profits in order to buy back again. Do not do it because I am the counter indicator, but right now I'm considering that if the market is going to push higher, maybe meme coins like Pepe are in the buy zone. Maybe it's getting late for buying some of this. Maybe Ethereum is the one that will make us all rich. It just closed also the CME gaps it had in 2,600. And remember, we still have one in 1,600. So, yeah, maybe you need to FOMO, or maybe you need to be patient for a little bit more. What about Trump coin? Well, Trump coin is not recovering, even though we have a spike down and we are up from that point. Maybe we are in a solid foundation bottom for this token. Is the moment for buying? Well, it's 90% down and more. So yeah, maybe this is the case. Consider also about World Liberty Finance. Be careful with scams, be careful with phishings. But it seems that in the exchange XT, you can pre-sell the token with an IOU. And it seems that we're going to make some money. I wouldn't buy World Liberty Finance token with even your money. Finally, I bought it. And it seems that finally it's going to be a good idea, even though I believe that we have a vesting of 1 year. So who knows where World Liberty Finance is going to be in a year. I will tell you everything that's new with this right now. Do not FOMO like crazy. Just wait, because again, there's a lot of scam out there. Maybe you can even consider that Donald Trump is trying to scam you all the time with more and more products. Remember the Trump card that he has in United States? Well, in the last 24 hours, just 25,000 people registered for the card. That's $125 billion. Amazing what Donald Trump can make. Amazing how he takes advantage of every possibility in order to make some money. And with this, we say goodbye, telling you that Bitcoin is this boy that is going to eat everything, and you need to get ready. How? Learning about it. Where? Here on Rodrigo Nedo Noticias Bitcoin Crypto News. Health, money, love, pouring peace, and the best is yet to come. To the moon!